Hey everybody, happy Father's Day. Father's Day is this weekend. Please take a moment to celebrate Dad and all that he does for you. And don't forget Mom also, even though it's Father's Day. Take care of your parents, guys. Without them, you're not here. Hey, so today we're going to talk about brisket, beef brisket. I know it's really huge down south in Texas. It's the pride of Texas, but we're up here in Oregon. It does mean we can't have a little pride too. So we're going to talk about beef brisket. So here at the butcher shop, we use a certified Angus beef brisket. We like to use a whole beef brisket. That means the brisket has been untrimmed from the packer. This is the side here that's been attached to the bone. It's a little bit leaner. This is the outside. So this would be the equivalent of, say, your chest muscle or your pectoral muscle on the beef. It aids in the front end of walking around. So it's a tougher muscle, but slow cooked, slow roasted, 14, 16 hours, something in that neck of the woods. It's going to come out tender, juicy, and full of flavor. So the brisket's made up of a couple different pieces. It has the flat, which you can see here in this area here. And then this nose piece that hides underneath all this fat here that we're going to show you how we trim these up to get that out to the front where we can get to utilize that piece of meat. Super tender. It's going to shred like a pot roast in your crock pot or your oven. So we're going to go ahead and trim this up and show you what it looks like and go ahead and get onto the brisket. So we've trimmed up our beef brisket to go ahead and get all that heavy fat off. I've trimmed this brisket down to about 1/8 to 1/4 inch fat on the outside. We want to leave some of that fat on there to help baste the brisket as it cooks, keep it from drying out. And I've removed a big kernel of fat out of this side over here, and also this piece that separates the flat from the nose. So you can see there's a big flapper here. We're just going to fold that back down. We're going to season in between those. And then this is going to go in the smokehouse for about 14 to 16 hours. We're going to bring it up to an internal temperature of probably about 185, 190 degrees. And it's going to have a nice full smoke ring on it. We're going to season this and baste it. It's going to come out. We're going to do the parking lot party this Saturday, Father's Day special. We're going to do smoked brisket sandwiches, and we're going to do baby back ribs. Okay, so we have our two briskets. We have our untrimmed version here, and we have the one we trimmed. As you can see here, we have the pile of fat that we trimmed off our one brisket. We're going to do probably 16 briskets this weekend for Father's Day special for our brisket sandwiches. So this amount of fat coming off 16 briskets is going to add up rather quickly. We trim this off because A, we don't want to charge you guys as customers. B, it makes a whole lot better product for you guys. If you're not looking for a brisket to come down and have a cooked sandwich, guys, we also sell these with the nose on or the nose off. You can come in anytime. We always have briskets. Half the fun's cooking these things at home. Maybe spend the afternoon with Dad prepping one of these up, roast it on Sunday and have a great meal, or come by Saturday. See us at the parking lot party. We'll have these out on the grill ready for you guys to go. So we're going to go ahead and season this up now. We're going to start with some kosher salt, and we're going to use about 1/2 teaspoon per pound to the brisket. This brisket here, after it's been trimmed up, it weighs about 12 pounds. So we're going to have a little bit of kosher salt. We're going to generously apply this, and we're going to apply it a little bit heavier at the areas that seem to be a little bit thicker. Now for those of you who don't like a lot of sodium, which I'm one of those people, this might look like a lot of salt, but this is a 12-pound brisket. So we have about 2 ounces of salt total here. We're going to salt this down, rub it in real nice and generously, and this is going to be our base. We're going to let this sit for no less than 24 hours to 48 hours before this goes in the smoker with just the salt on it. The reason we're going to do that is we're going to let that flavor penetrate down deep inside this meat because it is a thicker piece of meat. We want that to get down in there. And this fat side, it's not going to take quite the salt that the other side will just because the fat's a barrier between the meat and the salt. So we're going to rub this all down real nice and generously. And we're going to put this back in the cooler for a day and let this thing soak in before we put our other seasonings on there. Okay, now that our brisket's been bedded down in the cooler overnight, it's time to go ahead and apply the rest of the seasoning so we can get this thing in the smokehouse tonight. So we have our seasonings here. It's a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of white sugar, a little bit of ancho chili, just a dash of chipotle, and a couple other ingredients, real simple, mustard, garlic, okay? It's gonna have a real nice full flavor, but those chilies are gonna give that nice smoky flavor, and we're gonna go ahead and apply these now. Just like we did with our salt, we're going to apply this nice and evenly. We're going to rub it in real good, applying a little bit heavier seasoning to our thicker areas, making sure that flavor profile transfers in real good. We have the luxury of having some pretty nice smokers here at the butcher shop. We're able to control not just the heat and the temperature, the time, but we're also able to control the humidity. So this will start out with a dry heat early in the cycle with a heavy smoke on it. After we get this product dried out a little bit, called the reddening stage, where it's dried out and the meat's got a little bit tacky, then we'll go ahead and apply that smoke to it real nice and heavy, give it a nice full flavor. And as it cooks and it starts to pull the moisture out of the brisket, we'll introduce some humidity into the brisket so that it doesn't dry out and it stays nice and moist throughout the entire cook. That way when it comes out of the smokehouse and it's sliced up and put onto a sandwich, it's nice and juicy, full of flavor, instead of dry and non-flavorful. We'll smoke these for about 16 hours roughly, maybe 18 depending on how many we have in the oven that day or how hot they're cooking. A couple variables involved, but nevertheless, we always end up with the same result. Nice brisket sandwich. Now we're gonna put this back in the cooler till tonight when it's ready to go in the smokehouse. We'll put it in the smokehouse and then we'll have it out on the grill for you guys at the parking lot party. Sliced up, you can buy it by the chunk, you can buy it by the sandwich, however you guys like. We're happy to take care of you. And if you want a regular brisket or a nose-off brisket, anytime during the year, we always have these on hand. Just give us a call, place an order, let us know you need it. We'll have one prepared, trimmed, and ready to go for you anytime you guys need it. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to watch this video, and don't forget to celebrate Dad this weekend. Love him, take care of him. He took care of you the whole life, so enjoy Dad, guys. Thanks and have a great day.